Welcome to my channel. A few days ago, I was scrolling through my feed when something caught my attention. It was a post that, at first glance, seemed like any other typical post on Reddit. It was a picture of a girl, looking perfectly natural, as though it was her life captured in that one moment. However, something about the post felt off. There was no context, no explanation, and the girl in the image didn't seem to be someone who would typically post on this particular subreddit. It was just one of those gut feelings that made me pause, look closer, and dig a little deeper. Curiosity got the best of me, so I decided to reverse search the image to see if I could track down its origin. I've done this before when I've seen images used without credit or shared in questionable contexts, so I thought it was a good first step. I didn't expect anything out of the ordinary, but as I ran the search, I was shocked by what I found. The search didn't just show one result. It revealed an entire trail of similar photos scattered across the internet. Some of them were on Pinterest, others were linked to her private Instagram account. I'm talking about real, personal pictures that this girl had likely shared with only close friends and family. The most unsettling thing, however, was that her Instagram account was marked private, and yet somehow her images were being circulated around, appearing in other places I knew they shouldn't be. After looking at the source, it became clear someone had taken these photos and uploaded them without her knowledge, making it seem like it was her who was posting on Reddit. It wasn't her. She had no idea her picture had been stolen. I was shocked, but not entirely surprised. This kind of thing happens all the time online. People's identities and images can easily be hijacked, and social media accounts are constantly at risk of being used by impersonators. But this was personal. It was someone's photo. Someone who probably never expected to see their face appear on a random post in a subreddit that was completely unrelated to them. I knew I had to do something about it. I felt responsible for bringing this to light because the reality of online impersonation and identity theft was staring me right in the face. I immediately went on a mission to contact the real person behind the photo. I wasn't sure if she would see the message, but I hoped my actions would help bring some awareness to this issue. After a few tries, I finally managed to reach out to the girl whose image was being used. I explained the situation and showed her the Reddit post. I asked if it was her and if she knew anything about it. She responded fairly quickly and, to my relief, she was incredibly understanding and cooperative. She had no idea her photo had been posted on Reddit, nor had she ever shared it on any platform outside her private circles. We spoke a little more about what had happened, and she confirmed that she had never been on Reddit, nor had she ever agreed to be part of any posts in that subreddit. The situation was frustrating for both of us, but it was clear that the person who posted the image was engaged in an act of deliberate impersonation, attempting to use someone else's identity to mislead others. This wasn't a simple misunderstanding, it was a violation of privacy. It's the kind of thing that shouldn't happen to anyone, yet it does every day to people across the globe. We had a conversation through direct messages, and she even gave me permission to share our communication to make sure others understood the situation. I've included that conversation below, in her own words, to confirm that this is indeed a genuine case of identity theft. She was incredibly appreciative that I took the time to bring this to her attention and work together to rectify the situation. As soon as I had her confirmation, I knew the next step was to report the post to the moderators of the subreddit. I quickly submitted a formal report, making it clear that the image was being used without permission, and I strongly urged the mods to take down the post. There was no reason for that content to be on the platform, and the person behind the post needed to be held accountable. This entire experience has really highlighted a major issue in our online lives today. Our privacy is constantly at risk. It doesn't matter how carefully we protect our images. Someone out there can always find a way to take what's not theirs. I can't help but think about how many other people have gone through similar situations, where their photos have been shared without consent, often in contexts they never intended. Online impersonation and identity theft are real threats. And, unfortunately, they seem to be becoming more common, not less. It's so important to take a step back and remember how fragile online privacy is. We share so much of our lives on social media, often without thinking twice about who might be looking at our posts, downloading our images, or using them in ways we never imagined. I can't stress enough how important it is to use privacy settings on social media. Make sure your accounts are protected from prying eyes, especially when it comes to sharing personal photos or information. What might seem like an innocent picture of a fun day can easily be taken out of context and used by someone else. If you're ever unsure about a post you see online, whether it's a photo or a message, take a moment to question its authenticity. Is the person behind it who they claim to be? Does something about the post seem off? Reverse searching an image might seem like an extreme step, but it could save you from a lot of trouble down the line. If you spot anything suspicious, whether it's someone else's photo being used without their permission or a fake profile pretending to be someone else, call it out. Report it. This kind of behavior only continues when people let it slide. And to everyone reading this, please be careful about the content you interact with online. Take a minute to think about whether it's genuine, whether the person who shared it really intended for it to be shared, and whether it might be misleading others. Even if it doesn't affect you directly, it can harm someone else in ways you might never see. Ultimately, I believe that as a community, we have a responsibility to protect each other online. It's not just about protecting ourselves. It's about looking out for one another and ensuring that these issues don't continue to spread. Fake accounts, stolen identities, and stolen photos are not just digital problems. They are real-life issues that can have serious emotional consequences. What starts as a small act of impersonation can snowball into something much larger, affecting someone's entire sense of security. So, what did I do next? After contacting the girl and reporting the post, I kept checking back to make sure it was taken down. Fortunately, the mods responded fairly quickly and took down the post after confirming the impersonation. But I didn't stop there. I continued to make sure the issue was addressed and that others could learn from it. I've been telling people about this experience ever since, hoping it will help others avoid similar situations. It's a simple reminder that we need to take our online lives seriously and protect our identities as best as we can. Always think twice before sharing anything personal. Take responsibility for what you post. And most importantly, don't let someone else's misuse of your image go unnoticed. I want to end by saying that we need to continue to be cautious, vigilant, and proactive when it comes to privacy issues online. The internet can be a wonderful place to share and connect, but it's also a place where our photos, our identities, and even our personal stories can be misused if we're not careful. Let's all be mindful of how we interact with others' content and keep a watchful eye for any signs of misuse or impersonation. So, remember, always be cautious about the content you interact with. Don't let fake profiles or stolen identities spread unchecked. Let's work together to protect each other and keep our digital lives as safe as possible. This extended version is now more detailed, giving background and context, explaining steps taken, and emphasizing the seriousness of privacy issues, while keeping the tone of responsibility and awareness. Today, I want to share a story that highlights a serious issue we all face in the digital age: online impersonation and the misuse of personal photos. A few days ago, I stumbled upon a Reddit post where someone was using a girl's photo, pretending it was their own. What started as a gut feeling quickly turned into an investigation that uncovered a deeper problem. This story is a reminder of how easily our identities can be stolen online and how important it is to stay vigilant. Let's dive into what happened and why it's crucial for us all to be cautious about our online presence.